Hi, you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the third day of our Beyond Your Belief experience. Today, I think a lot of people have been kind of waiting for because it's a really, really popular subject that people are kind of thirsty for, and that is success and abundance. So we are going to do all kinds of cool things. Hi, you guys. Hi, Allie. Hi, David. We are going to do some like energy exercises so that you get to enter more into your abundance and leave behind that feeling of being like just enough, having just enough, even maybe being in a little bit of debt or a lot of debt. We're going to leave that behind. I'm going to give you a lot of tips and tools. And of course, if you know me, I'm going to give you some beliefs and downloads that you might want to do, all kinds of good stuff. Oh, and a visualization. So I think it's really interesting. One time, years ago now, when I was doing my healing business and I wanted to know kind of what people wanted workshops about. So I did this informal poll on Facebook and polled my friends and my Facebook friends and said, if you could change anything in your life, what would it be? Now, you've got to know that my friends a lot of them are really religious because I grew up in this beautiful little religious community. A lot of them, almost all of them, I would say, are spiritual, wonderful people. And I was really surprised when by far the most popular response, the most common response was, I wish I had focused more on making money in my life. Wow. All these really spiritual, religious people, what they wanted to change in their life was that they wish they had been more successful and more financially abundant. And I was like, interesting. That must mean that there's some really big belief that there's something maybe wrong with being successful or abundant, or that there is something really super hard about being successful or abundant. And sure enough, there are a lot of beliefs. We're going to get to that a little bit later. First, I want to delve into this really kind of cool concept of the divine matrix. So what the heck is the divine matrix? It's a concept that term, a lot of people have talked about this concept. A lot of scientists, a lot of spiritual healers, a lot of people that say you can enter more into your abundance. But Greg Braden, this guy who is my favorite thing, both scientific and spiritual, wrote a book. He's written many books, but one of his books is called The Divine Matrix. And I love this concept. I'm actually going to give you a one-sentence quote from him to help explain it, because it's a little bit of an advanced concept, and it's about being in a holographic universe, so that the universe is actually responsive to our beliefs and emotions. So this is how Greg Braden puts it. You got to excuse me for reading from my Post-it note on the edge of my computer. The container. So he's defining the divine matrix. The container for the universe, the bridge between our imagination and our reality, and the mirror in our world for what we create in our beliefs. So did you get that? The universe is mirroring what we feel and think back to us. Now, that's both bad news and good news, right? Because if you're upset about something, if you're feeling impoverished and in lack and victimized by the world, it's a little bit mean to say, well, that's what you created. And that is not what I'm saying. There is reality. And a lot of us were born into more privilege than others. I'm a white person, so I have a certain amount of privilege, and it's not my fault. It's just how it is. And it's my responsibility to make the world a fairer and better place. A lot of people were born into the world with a lot more money than my family had. I always had enough to eat. I always had, presents on Christmas. But I didn't go to some fancy schmancy school. I didn't get given a super incredible internship because my dad was this person. You know what I mean? A lot of people had that. Other people don't. We're all at different places. And this is real, There is reality. But even though we didn't create that reality before we were born, we do create our reaction to that reality. And that's the good news, because you get to change what is happening to you, no matter where you are in life, no matter how dysfunctional the family or community that you were brought up in is, you still get to change your life. And if you feel, like I said, victimized or sad or angry, you look those feelings right in the face and you go, I feel angry. That is my thing. If you know me, feel your feelings. Don't be afraid of them. Don't ignore them. Just feel them, because they're feelings, and they will keep getting bigger and stronger and show up in your body in weird ways until you feel them. They just want to be felt, you know? And again, this is where tapping, we're not going to do tapping today, but this is where tapping does come in really, really handy. Because if you can just do this thing about, even though I am so angry right now that my friend got that great job because of her connections, and I feel angry. Even though I feel angry, it's just a feeling. And then tap through and let your feelings run through you and really recognize them and have them. And then you're like, okay, I accept myself anyway. I accept that I have these feelings. They're feelings. I got them. You got them. We all got them. Now, the universe will mirror that you have feelings, that you let them run through you, and that now you're ready to go out there and create something new. So how do you do that? So that's what I'm going to tell you about a little bit today. First, I want to give you like an example so that this kind of makes more sense to you. So this is just about how we create our own world. Even though the world, a lot of it was already out there when we were born into it, right? We still, like I said, we still create our reaction to the world, and our beliefs and emotions do affect, because of this divine matrix that we're in. It's a matrix of possibilities. Each moment, like you can't go back and recreate the past, but you can, and you are, whether you know it or not, creating your present and your future. Let me say that one more time. You cannot go back and recreate the past. Not before you were born, and not even after you were born. Maybe you were a rotten kid, or maybe you made a lot of stupid choices in your 20s. You can't go back and change that, but, to my knowledge, but you can create now what you want in the present and in the future. Your beliefs and emotions are reflected back to you by the world around you. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example of that. When my older daughter was a baby, the most adorable baby in the world, and toddler, this is 20 years ago. She's 20 now, my oldest. And I was a new mom, and I would go out with her in her stroller, this just adorable child. And almost every time I took her out in her stroller, a woman, either another mom like me, or a lot of times it was an older woman who, like maybe her kids, she had already raised them, somebody would always stop me and criticize something that I was doing. I was a really good, really careful mommy, but I always got stopped and criticized. They would say, you know, it's really cold out. I noticed your beautiful baby doesn't have a hat on. And what would I do? I'd be like, oh my gosh, you know what? You're right. It is cold. But every time I put a hat on her, she just pulls it right off. And then it ends up on the sidewalk. And I would never I didn't have any kind of bubble. It started to really get to me. No matter what I did, I would go out and get criticized. Wow, it's 8 o'clock at night. Don't you think your baby should be home in bed? What are you doing out here with her at Barnes & Noble? And I'd be like, oh, well, I'm trying to get her off her afternoon nap. And she, fell asleep at 6 p.m. So that's why. But it really bothered me. And so I went and figured it out. I was like, why the heck? Oh, and by the way, when my husband would take our baby, beautiful daughter out in the stroller, everybody would stop him and say, oh, she's so beautiful. She's so lucky to have a father like you. What a great daddy you are. And I was like, what the heck? Come on. So I went and figured out that I had a belief I need to be criticized in order to grow and evolve. I need to be criticized. I think I even had, I like to be criticized because it helps me grow. So that's what people were doing. They were just responding to what I was putting out there energetically. Please criticize me. And they were like, okay, yes, definitely. We'll definitely do that. So I changed my belief. I did not need to be criticized. I can learn and grow in all kinds of ways without being criticized. And I even came up with a snappy response that I was kind of eager to use. I decided that the next time some lady came up to me and said, don't you think she should have like heavier boots on? I would say, thanks for the advice and keep moving on. I thought that was just a great response, because it wasn't really saying anything nasty to them. It was just saying, here's my boundary. You just crossed it. I'm going to be going now. Do you know that never one time did I get to use my snappy response? Because from then on, nobody stopped me and criticized me. I had taken away that part of me that the world was reflecting back at me. Okay, so you can change your beliefs. I am going to give you some beliefs and downloads kind of at the end this time, because I always do that at the beginning and then we don't have as much time for this other like yummy stuff. So stay tuned if you want those beliefs and downloads. I'm going to do that a little bit later. Right now, I'm going to give you some like tips and tricks to do. Okay. These are really, really great habits you can develop. Simply say several times a day, universe, less of that. Thank you. If something that you don't like happens, let's say somebody criticizes you at your job, let's say your boss or your colleagues are always super critical of you. Universe, less of that. Thank you. Make sure you say thank you, because that is putting out there to that divine matrix that you trust and believe and know that it's already happening. Maybe you haven't seen the results of it yet, but it is happening, okay? And then also several times a day when something really great happens, you can say, universe, more of that. Thank you. It's easier to say thank you that time. But again, it's important to say thank you. Okay, so that is one simple but really effective thing. When stuff happens that you're not into, less of that. Thank you. Stuff happens that you love, more of that. Thank you. You need to get specific about what you want. To some of you, this sounds obvious because you've done a little bit of work on this and you have like your vision board or your post-it notes on your mirror or in your phone or whatever it is, that you have like your goals and your dreams. But not everybody does. A lot of people don't have what they want because they're not quite sure what they want, because they've been so busy just like struggling to make ends meet or to make other people happy or to take care of other people, that they haven't actually thought that much about what they do want. Or maybe they have dreamed about it a little bit, but they never realized that they actually get to create it. The universe doesn't mind if you are super successful and wealthy. It doesn't really matter to the universe if you have a lot of money or a little money. So you might as well have a lot of money. If you did have a lot of money, wouldn't you do really good things with it? Wouldn't that be great for the world if you had a lot of money? So it's okay. So it's cool to get specific about what you want. State it out loud, write it, paint it, whatever you want to do. Make sure that the universe knows what your dream is. Otherwise, how could it bring it to you? This is something that's a really good I'm going to give you some homework today. I haven't done that so far in our Beyond Your Belief experience or even in our Too Much Tuesdays. Think about this. Jot this down, and this is your homework. Who or what taught you that you need to play small or to sacrifice yourself? Who taught you that? Was it your dad? Was it your mom? Was it the church? Was it your ballet teacher? Was it your basketball coach? Was it your older mean sibling? Who taught you to play it safe and small? Who taught you that you shouldn't ask for much? Who taught you that you have to sacrifice yourself in order to just exist? So in your homework, you're going to visualize that person. You're not going to go talk to them in real life. You're going to go visualize that person, close your eyes, see them in front of you, and you say to them, you know what? You taught me to play small. You taught me to be afraid. You taught me that I couldn't have my dreams. And I'm wondering why you did that. And then listen for a few minutes, because you might very well hear, because you might already know their reasons. And the reasons probably are that they were scared. And so they taught you to be scared, to protect you from the world. Their reasons are that they had to sacrifice themselves so much. So they're assuming that that's how it is. And they need to tell you that you have to do it too. Their reasons probably were not evil, or of ill intent, but those were their reasons. And so you're just going to say to them, wow, thank you so much for teaching me that lesson that actually the opposite of what you said was true. I'm learning that now. I didn't know it then, but I know it now. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm not going to be scared. I'm not going to unduly sacrifice myself. I'm not going to think that there's no way to win. I'm going to know. I'm sorry that you couldn't know this, but I'm going to know that the world is an abundant place that does reflect what I'm putting out there. And I am going to go out there and I am going to allow this abundance to flow to me. And I wish you the best. And I forgive you. Okay? That's your homework. Look at them. Tell them what happened. Ask them why they did that. Forgive them, because that was the best they could do, and get the lesson from it. What is the lesson? Not that you learn then, like, ooh, I better be small and scared, but that you're learning from them in retrospect. Oh, I actually can do this. All right. Next tip, Tara's tips. Stop trying to pull your dream down to you. This creates an attitude of lack and resentment. And resentment is a really powerful energy. And it really kind of like festers in your heart, and you don't want it. I understand resentment because the world is not fair sometimes, but let it run through you and stop trying to pull your dream down. Oh, I wish I had that. Why don't I have that? Why does that person have that? She doesn't even deserve it. Why does she have it? What you want to do is raise your vibration so that it's at that vibration of that dream. You don't want to focus on what you don't have. You don't want to focus on that gap between you and your dream. You want to focus on that dream and on what you do have. You want to focus on your attitude of, yes, I'm going to do this. Yes, I'm going to change. Sometimes I get discouraged, but now I'm getting all these tools and I have that vision, and I am going to keep my vibration high so that I can be at the same vibration as that vision. And then you got to go out and find things that keep your vibration high. You can visualize, you can meditate, you can walk in nature, you can exercise, you can listen to music that inspires you and read books that inspire you and listen to Facebook Lives that inspire you. But focus on what you want and raising your vibration, not on what you don't have. And this goes right along with that. Focus on your small wins and your big wins. But a lot of times what we do, and I really tend towards this too, like I will, it's actually how our brains are set up. It's called negativity bias. We focus on what's wrong because that's how, like if you were, if our ancestors were sitting around the fire and they heard a noise right behind them, they better focus on that, not on their dream and on the fire, but on that, because it might be a predator behind them, and they better be pretty alert and focus on the negative, And so that's still how our brains are wired. And so if you like have a job review and your boss says 8 really wonderful things about you and 2 things that you really could work on, what are you going to remember the whole rest of the day and night and week and month and year? You're going to remember the 2 negative things, right? And you can jot them down, you can work on that, you can make a plan, but try to retrain your brain to focus on those 8 positives, because that is going to encourage you instead of discourage you. And that is going to bring you up into that emotional resonancy that the universe will then reflect back at you. So you want to focus on, even if like in my day-to-day life, let's say that my computer glitched. So if you know me, you know that technological stuff, it just freaks me out. And let's say that my computer glitched, and instead of panicking or getting angry or crying, I went, I wonder what's going on here. What would somebody who was good with computers do? I know, they would turn it off and turn it back on again. If I did something like that and got through a little tech problem all by myself, I try to, instead of just disregarding, oh, good, finally I did that. Like I should have been doing that 20 years ago. I go, you know what, Tara, good job. I talk to myself like I talk to my kids. How do you talk to your kids when they're little and they like make a peanut butter sandwich for the first time? Do you go, oh, I've been making peanut butter sandwiches for 40 years. Welcome. No, you go, hey, good job. I like how you made that peanut butter sandwich all by yourself. And that really was helpful to me in making your lunch. You know what I mean? So I talk to myself like that. Tara, good job getting through that tech issue. A month ago, you might not have been able to do that. Look at that. Good job. Gosh, reward your small wins. We are all doing good stuff every day, every week that we don't notice. And what happens when we don't notice? What happens when we ignore ourselves? Nobody else notices either. Nobody else recognizes us either. Before you get respect from other people, gotta respect yourself. You've probably heard that before. Okay, you do not want to refuse to look at reality, you guys. I'm just saying that again because I'm super into that. You don't want to refuse to look at what's happening. If your business that you started is losing money hand over fist, you might want to look at that and change what's happening. So you would definitely visualize and work on your beliefs about abundance and everything, but you would also take different action and reward yourself for looking at things in the face and going, okay, this is what I'm going to change. I'm going to take action steps to do this. Somebody, Becky, I don't know if she's here today, but Becky Shea gave me very good advice about this during the Facebook Live I did with Daniel Tuttle, who was talking to us about access consciousness. And I was saying, because Daniel and Becky too, they were saying, oh, it's just so fabulous. You just create a new reality. And I was like, yeah, what if people are super sad about the reality that they thought was going to be here and it's not? For example, because of COVID, because now they're homeschooling their kids and having to work also at the same time. Think of a mom with a special needs kid and a full-time job. And Becky said something pretty profound, I thought. She said to herself, because in fact she was in that situation of having kids who needed a little bit of extra support and having a full-time job. And she said that what she said was, this looks different than I thought it would. That's what you can say, this looks different than I thought it would. Recognize what's happening. I'm so disappointed. I thought things would look different and they don't. So I'm going to make a new plan. Yes, Allie, nothing like a good reset. It is that you reset your computer, but you can reset yourself too. We are nothing if not just exactly like computers, and we can either understand our connection to the divine matrix, or we can refuse to understand. Either way, the universe is going to reflect back at us what we're putting out there. All right. This is really important and I love it. Open and align your energy with the energy of the universe so that you don't have to swim against the current of the ocean. This is how I used to approach my life. It's like, okay, so like I'm smart, and I'm a hard worker. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. And I didn't, even though I believed in God and everything, somehow it never occurred to me for a long time, until just a few years ago, that I could say, hey, God, universe, this is what I want. This is how I think it would be really good to be. Thank you for letting me ride the current. Go with the universe, not against it. The universe can't wait to work with you. It is just waiting for you to say, yes, help me, thank you. And if you keep going and going and going and going with what you want and what you want, then maybe the universe does want you to go a different way. You do have to be open and respond. One thing that I have been doing lately is visualizing myself and my new company, Beyond Your Belief, as a sailboat. Because like I said, I have the tendency to not visualize, but to just assume that I'm in a rowboat. And I'm rowing. Well, I got to work on my muscles right here because I got to row harder and harder because I'm going against the current, Jeez, it's exhausting. I had to get super exhausted and like really just depleted in many ways before it occurred to me to get out of my rowboat and get in a sailboat. Don't you be this way. Just get in a sailboat right away. And now, every night, I visualize a sailboat that says, Beyond Your Belief. And then I wasn't going to tell you guys all this, but I am now. I visualize my sailboat not even floating down a river or anything, but floating up through the stars. It's a beautiful, beautiful vision. I found a picture like that and made it the screensaver on my phone and my computer. I would show you, except I can't because I'm using my phone and my computer right now. I found a really beautiful image of this so that I look at it and I found my theme song music to it and I play it every once in a while. You can do stuff like this in your life. Use your creativity and give yourself an image, a song, anything that gets you going so that you know that you are not rowing like I was against the current, but that you are asking the universe to just blow your sailboat. You do have a rudder in a sailboat, right? I have one friend, Holly, who literally has a sailboat and is really good with boats, so she could probably tell you all the technical terms, but I think it's called a rudder. You need a rudder. You don't want to be just like, I don't know, you're directing that sailboat, but you're not right, blowing the sails of it. The universe is doing that. So let the universe help you. Be open to it. Ask for the universe's support. Okay. What else? Okay. So now you guys ready for some beliefs, the most common beliefs that I've found in my clients that have stopped them from getting to the success and the abundance that they would like. All right. So here's a really big one. I have to choose. This is a belief that you might have that you don't want to have. Okay. I have to choose between being spiritual or being wealthy. Now, really religious people can back this up. They think they're quoting a verse from the Bible. What they're doing is misquoting a verse from the Bible. They say, money is the root of all evil. That is not what the verse says. Don't misquote Bible verses to Tara Greenway. I was raised in Houghton, and I know that 1 Timothy 6:10 says, the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Okay? It's not money itself. It's the love of money. You don't love money. You use money, you love people. You don't want to love money and use people. Okay? And it also isn't the root of all evil. If you think about that, that doesn't even make sense. People don't murder other people for money usually. They murder other people because, well, they're either mentally ill or they feel hatred in their heart. They feel jealousy in their heart. It's nothing to do with money. but money is the root of some evil, all kinds of evil, not all evil. Okay, sorry, I really got into that. So you don't want to have to choose between being spiritual and being wealthy. God never said that, in my opinion. Here's another one that you don't want to have. My need or my family's need motivates me. This is a really common one, and it's understandable, right? But what you would rather have is that your soul's desire or your life's purpose motivates you. Of course, you're going to make enough money so that you can support yourself and your family. But you can see how, right, if it's only your poverty that's motivating you, that you would need to keep being poor, right? So that's why some people like make tons and tons of money and then they lose it. Then they make more and then they lose it because they feel like, oh, my need motivates me. I'm connected to my family by poverty. Maybe your family has been poor for many, many generations, but I think you're connected to your family by love, not by a lack of money, right? I don't deserve to be successful or abundant. Why? Of course you deserve to. These are subconscious things and we can change them. I have to wait for other people to be successful or abundant before I am. I used to have this. I would let everybody go first. Oh, I don't want to make you feel bad. You go ahead and be successful first. You know, what if you lead the way? Then you can inspire other people. Then you can show other people how to do it. And one last one, others will attack me if I'm successful or abundant. I mean, verbally attack. And, you know, sometimes people do. Sometimes they get jealous and petty and, you know, you can have a boundary about that and you can see that they're just jealous and it's okay. So these beliefs are things that we need to kind of work on. So if you want to do a one-on-one session with me, if you want to go to this is Theta healing. I should forget to say, this is Theta healing. All this belief stuff, all this beautiful belief work and downloads. This is Mariana Stibel's wonderful technique, Theta healing. And you can go to thetahealing.com. Like I said yesterday, you could get the book. You can do it on yourself. I will happily arrange to do a little masterclass on this, maybe, you know, one evening a week for 4 weeks or something. If we want to form that and do a Zoom class on that, be really, really a great thing. So get in touch with me. All of this stuff is also on beyondyourbelief.com. You can go there. You can go to that, connect with me there. Tara at beyondyourbelief.com. I will happily arrange a class maybe later this summer or in the fall. It might be really cool. For now, I can give you downloads. Just like you would download your computer with a certain program. If it doesn't have it, we can download you from this divine, the universe. And we can just, if you just say, yes, I will have these, I will ask for these downloads and observe them, download right into you. Would you like the highest and best definition of money? Because maybe you've heard money is just a form of energy. It's an exchange of energy. People used to pay each other through like chickens and goats, and now we don't do that anymore. We use money. It's not inherently good or bad, okay? Got to have the best definition of it. And would you like the highest and best definition of abundance? I always like this one because what I get a lot of images when I ask source for the definition of things. And with this, I always get an image of flowing in and flowing out, flowing in and flowing out. We think sometimes some people think of abundance as a flow in, and that's when they start to feel like, oh, I don't want to be greedy, you know? The flow, the proper definition of abundance is flowing in and then flowing out. It makes sense, right? The more you accept and receive, the more you'll be able to give. And that's the next thing. Would you like to know what it feels like and how it is possible and safe and you deserve to receive, and that you deserve success and abundance, and what it feels like and how that it's possible and safe to be both spiritual and wealthy? That's okay. And what it feels like and how it's possible and safe to connect to your family and your colleagues without poverty and without failure. And would you like to know what it feels like and how to feel motivated without poverty and without debt? And what it feels like and how that's possible and safe to live your day-to-day life without struggling. Notice I didn't say without working. You can work, but you don't have to, like I said, row and row and row against the current. you don't have to struggle quite so much, okay? I'm going to just give you those downloads either live or even if you're watching the recording right now. Good job, you guys. Okay, we're going to do a really quick little exercise to help you to feel the flow from the universe to you, to help you physically open up to it. This has been really helpful to me. I used to do, I've been doing all this belief work from Theta healing for about 15 years now. It's totally changed my life. But I've found that it's even more powerful if I combine it with some more somatic stuff, some more physical stuff. Here we are in these bodies, and so it's really powerful to combine this stuff with some physical exercises. So this is Eden Energy. No, you can't see me. This is Eden Energy medicine exercises, Donna Eden stuff. It's amazing. So this particular exercise is my favorite. Is called Connecting Heaven and Earth, and then we're going to slide right into another exercise. So you stand like this, do it outside if possible. It's really cool to do these things outside. Slap your thighs just to get your energy going here, and then come up to this prayer pose position. Take a nice deep breath. And breathe out. I'm going to kneel down so you can see me. With one hand, you're going to put it all the way up like this, and put your face up to the heavens. With the other hand, you're going to put it all the way down like this so that you look like a Greek goddess on a vase or something, okay? And you're opening up your energy to receive. And then you take, and I've modified it a little bit, I like to feel that like a ball of energy coming down from the heavens here, and I put that in my heart, a ball of energy from the earth here, and I put that in my heart, and then I go the other way. This, and then those balls of energy into my heart. You can do that a few times. And then I want you to go all the way up like this. This is one of Donna Eden's favorite exercises. She calls it heaven rushing in. So you're just you're receiving the energy of the universe that is already there anyway. Just drinking it in. And then I'm going to combine this with the Celtic weave. You are going to just take this energy, weave it all the way down your body, in front of each chakra, in front of your knees, down to your feet. I know you can't see me, but I'm sure you can imagine. And then you're going to roll this energy back up until you're back up here to heaven rushing in. Okay? And again, really perfect if you can do all that outside. But even if not, you can do it inside too. It works. And it's just a really great way to start your day. If you can, I do this as part of my daily energy routine. Donna Eden calls it every morning. All right, you guys ready for a cool visualization? Here we go. So this is a really wonderful thing to get your vibration, raise it up to that vibration of your dreams or your goals, like we said before. And you can do this every day or once a week or whatever you want, okay? So close your eyes for me if you can. Take a nice deep breath. Let it out slowly. You're going to allow that energy from the earth. This is a Theta healing visualization from Vienna Steibel. Allow it to come all the way up from the very core of the earth, through the soles of your feet, through your legs, up each chakra of your body, out your crown chakra, up and out and up and out and up and out, through different layers of light and dark until you feel kind of a sparkling, flowing ocean of light. If you don't feel it, it's okay. Just visualize it, imagine it. And you're just floating along in this beautiful ocean of unconditional love and light. This is the divine matrix. This is where all possibilities exist. The future hasn't been created yet. This is a place that you're visiting that you're actually always connected to, but you're just becoming conscious of it now. And then this is Vienna's manifesting visualization. You're going to look down at your life, you see the earth and you zone in right where you are on the earth and you go, oh, look at that. Look at Tara. Look at Lisa. Look at whoever. And you see your life. And then just like rearranging the furniture and everything in a doll's house, you're going to put everything exactly how you want it. Start with your home. If there were no limitations, what would you want your home to be? Imagine that. Who is in there? What does it smell like? What music is playing? Are there kids? Are there pets? What are people doing? What are you doing? Maybe you have more than one home. Maybe you need to create a country house too. And then visualize your perfect career. Where do you go? Maybe you work from home. Maybe you go there. What are you doing? Who are you doing it with? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? And then imagine what you do on vacation. What do you do on the weekends? What do you do for just fun and joy? Where do you get your love? Where do you spread your love? What do you do for service to the world, to the universe? Imagine all of that. I'm taking you through it a little bit quickly. When you're on your own, you can do it as slowly and just relish everything and imagine and imagine. And then you're just going to say, universe, source, all that is, thank you for giving me this or better. Because sometimes the universe does have something else in mind that's even better than you imagined. It is requested that all this, or even better, be brought into my life now in the highest and best way. Thank you. And then we say, it is done, it is done, it is done. And so it is. Amen means, and so it is done. Okay? So open your eyes. You get to go out there and create that. You get to have fun doing it. You get to have success and abundance. You get to create that next possibility and the possibility after that and the possibility after that, because your world is a matrix that is reflecting back at you what your beliefs and emotions are. If you want to read more about that, there's so much amazing, cool stuff out there. This is both science and spirit. Like I said, Max Planck and John Wheeler, who were physicists, believed this. And there's Greg Braden. There's a lot of other people out there too who talk about this concept. So if you want to go to the resources page of my website, beyondyourbelief.com, there's a lot of good stuff there. All right, you guys, thank you for joining me. Oh, tomorrow is moving beyond your beliefs about your body. So if you're a little bit upset with your body because it is a little heavier than you want it to be, or because it keeps going into illness or pain and you really don't get that, I'm going to have some good stuff for you tomorrow at 12:30 Saturday. So come on in there. And you can also get these, you're welcome, Trish. You can also get these recordings on my Facebook page, and they do eventually get put on my YouTube channel. So you can go there too, okay? And then you can get there from my website. All right, you guys. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks, Susan. And oh, Leanne, Zoom class would be cool. I know, wouldn't it? We got to put that together. Guys, let me know if you're interested in that. A Zoom class on success and abundance. Thank you. Bye.